Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and thank you for joining me live from the brand new MSC flagship, MSC Virtuosa. In this episode, we'll talk about the successful MSC concept cruise bubble, launched and tasted last summer on MSC Grandiosa, which made possible our 2021 summer sea-cation. Why and how you can transform the app MSC for me in your best friend when on board, and a preview of my home away from home for the next 8 days, the luxurious Yacht Club Duplex. But that's not all for tonight. As a special treat, I will have the chance to talk with the architect of the incredible restart of MSC Cruises in UK. This is MSC Virtuosa Live, episode 2. After starting his career working for the British Consulate in Italy, in 2008, my guest moved to MSC Cruises. As the commercial manager for Germany, Switzerland, and Austria, he was responsible for growing the business and making MSC Cruises the major player in these countries. After that, in 2012, he became executive director of Asia and the emerging markets. Finally, in early 2016, he was appointed as the managing director for UK and Ireland. And almost 2 years after taking on the challenge, he achieved the highest ever passenger numbers, almost double than 2016. And he didn't stop here. In 2018, he transformed Southampton for the first time in a home port for an MSC ship. And everybody remember the extraordinary launch in March 2019 of MSC Bellissima. Last week, when MSC Virtuosa entered the port of Southampton, he had tears in his eyes. Ladies and gentlemen, my special guest tonight, Antonio Paradiso, Managing Director, UK and Ireland, MSC. Antonio Paradiso, thank you so much for finding time to speak with me, because I don't know why, I have the feeling that you are pretty busy these days.
Thank you, Leonard. It's a pleasure to be here. Yes, rather busy days. As you can imagine, we will be the first cruise line, to restart cruising from the UK. So you can imagine all the pressure that comes along with that. But yeah, we're also excited. We're also very, very excited. Last week has been kind of an emotional moment for all of us, seeing MSC Virtuosa arriving into Southampton.
I saw you live on Facebook, and I'm not exaggerating if I'm saying that I had feeling that you have tears in your eyes, because at the end of the day, you are the main architect of this double victory, if you want. You said you are the first cruise line to start cruising in UK, plus you brought to Southampton the newest, the flagship of MSC. You brought Virtuosa here, and that's brilliant. How do you feel about that?
So first of all, thank you for your kind words. I'm not going to use the word victory yet, because this is a long journey, Leonard, because I'd like to remind everyone that, of course, we follow the instructions given by the UK government. So, things can always change in the future. But as far as we're concerned, yes, we are very proud to be the first ones to restart. I'm personally very excited, proud, and delighted to have MSC Virtuosa, because that's our new flagship, is the newest ship in our fleet, and to be invested with such responsibility to receive
You know, I was thinking that when you managed to base a ship a couple of years ago in Southampton, that was a big thing. And after that was 2019 with the naming of Bellissima, and that was amazing. And I was thinking, what else he can do? And look what you're doing this year, bringing
Well, I
brand
think I think life is always about improving on previous achievements. So every time I say, "Oh, this has been the best," but then I add "yet," because the good thing about working for a rather ambitious and dynamic company like MSC is that there's always a new ship, there's always a new goal, there's always a new opportunity. So it's great, as I said, to receive the trust of the MSC family. I feel it like it's a big responsibility, to handle MSC Virtuosa, but at the same time, all of this is possible thanks to the UK customers, because I can be as good as you want, but if the UK customers don't book our cruises, you will never get the new ship, you will never get the best hardware. It goes hand in hand with the support and the number of bookings we are getting from the UK. And I have to be honest, I was appointed as the MD for the UK and Ireland 5 years ago, and since day one, it's been an amazing journey. Year after year, we kept on raising the bar and adding more and more and more and more. So you're right. With the launch of MSC Bellissima, I thought, okay, this was huge. This was big. Not sure I can repeat myself. I'm not sure we can do better than that. And there you go.
can.
MSC Virtuosa is here,
Not only that, it's a brand new ship that is the biggest, the flagship of MSC. But another premiere, if you want, is the fact that you announced that will be not only one maiden voyage, there will be 4.
Indeed. So I want to make sure that our customers on board feel special. MSC Virtuosa is a message of hope for the industry, not just the cruise industry, for the wider travel industry. With all the uncertainty out there, having a ship, sailing from the UK in May is definitely encouraging. That's the emotional bit. Finally, after such a long and hard, period, things are starting to happen again. So that's really, really encouraging. And yes, 4 maiden voyages. Why? First of all, I think many people are aware now. Well, our cruises are, of course, following the UK guidance. So until the 21st of June, we do have restrictions in place. We do have a capacity cap of 1,000 passengers. So I said to myself, well, we have 4 amazing mini cruises, only 1,000 people on board of each cruise. Why not make it special for all of them? When am I going to get this opportunity again in the future? So yes, 4 maiden voyages. What does that mean? That we are focusing more and more on the concept of maiden voyage. With so few passengers on board, of course, we can be a little bit more creative. We can be a little bit more customer oriented. So yeah, we will have a gala dinner and a gala night on board of each maiden voyage. We will have some special treats which are only available on board the first 4 sailings. I don't want to spoil the surprise, so I'd rather have you
I cannot wait.
guess discovering on board. I can tell you that we've done so many tweaks. Of course, we will try to arrange by keeping social distancing. Not the parties. I will no longer call them parties. I rather call them events, because parties sometimes can be misleading. And
Correct.
when you use the word party, you think about thousands of people just, jumping up and down and hugging each other. So that's why allow me to use the term event. So we will have a gala event, a white night event, a sail away event. I've been liaising with our amazing staff on board. So we're going to make sure we have Conte Partirò by Andrea Bocelli, because
as always on MSC ships,
that song
of course,
has a special place in our hearts. And Andrea Bocelli is a good friend of MSC. So we'll make sure, we have a sail away event, not party. But yes, the idea is to have fun but responsibly on board. And even the gala menu will be enriched. So we will be adding lobster as well and a few treats here and there. As I said, the idea is to feel special. The idea is to
Brilliant.
have a great time on board. But please, I remind everyone out there, we're still not out of this pandemic. We still need to follow the rules. I appreciate that once you're on board, you start feeling relaxed, but we should always be responsible and try, to wear face masks when possible.
Because at the end of the day, on our behavior, and I said our, including myself in the passenger in your guest list, on our behavior depends what will happen and which decision will be taken in the future. So we don't want us to be the reason why one point they will say, okay, no more cruises, we go back to all the restrictions that we have and so on. So I think that's responsibility on our shoulders as passengers too. So
bravo, Leonard. That's exactly the point. We're in this together. So I can provide the ship, I can provide the experience, but then I need everyone's cooperation to make sure
correct.
that, as I said, we all have a great time and we should be having a good time on board. But at the same time, let's not forget that we're nowhere near the 21st of June yet. So.
Yeah, you know that I have a lot of friends on board MSC Virtuosa, and I was trying, I can tell you, that's a complaint, take it as a complaint. I was trying to persuade them to send me some photos because I'm so curious to see how MSC Virtuosa looks like. They didn't want to send me any photos. They said that we want you to have a surprise because indeed the hashtag masterpiece at sea has a very good reason or a lot of reasons. What makes Virtuosa so special? What makes Virtuosa the masterpiece at sea of MSC? I'm talking rhymes now.
First of all, I'm glad that our colleagues on board are following the guidelines that we have set for them. So I always tell them, in case of trouble, blame Antonio Paradiso. And so what's special about MSC Virtuosa? First of all, she's our flagship. So she's the biggest ship of our fleet, sister to Grandiosa. So people who have been on Grandiosa or Bellissima may have an idea of how Virtuosa is going to look like. But you're a really good customer of ours, so you know exactly what we tend to do on board of each ship. So whilst the hardware can be similar, we always tend to customize a little bit more, the experience on board and the restaurants and the entertainment. So actually for MSC Virtuosa, there are so many differences also in terms of onboard service. So like new restaurants, so we will go for, we have the brand new Indochine or Indochine, as you wish, restaurant, which is something brand new. Available on board of MSC Virtuosa, so we always try to have something different from the other ships. But at the same time, we tend to have on board those restaurants and those concepts that have always proven to be really successful. So, the British pub. That was our idea for Bellissima. It was so successful that we had to have a British pub on board of Grandiosa and now on board of MSC Virtuosa. Why? Because I think the concept itself is amazing, having up to 50 different brands of beers and ciders to choose from,
the
and with
comfort food that you'll find in the pub, it's
exactly, you want that, and also have some of the English treats, like the fish and chips or the special burger and all that. At the same time, we know that the butcher's cut is always sold out. Every cruise, butcher's cut sold out. So we know that our customers love the butcher's cut. They love the teppanyaki and the sushi. But again, as I said, we want to do something different. So in this case, we have the Indochine restaurant, which offers something completely different from the past. Also, the concept of Hola, the Hola restaurant on board has been revisited. So now it's more of a Spanish/Mexican style of tapas, tacos, and all of that. So we have slightly revisited that concept. And so I'm pretty confident that's going to go down really well. Then we always have some new technology or something that it's a first on board of MSC. In this case, we have the Starship Lounge, so the Starship Club, where we have the first humanoid, robot tender at sea. So it's not just the face; it's a proper robot
Uh-huh.
doing up to
I,
20.
I, I will try that, despite the fact that I would prefer to have a chat when I'm waiting for my Cosmopolitan to be done, to be made with one of the amazing bartenders that we normally have on board MSC. But I will try the robot. Who knows? Maybe he will be charming as your crew. Who
Yeah.
knows?
Well, I think it's tough to replace our amazing crew, if I'm honest. So, as I said, it's an experience. Maybe you do it once, you do it twice. There you go. You know, you get the glass or the special, souvenir from the Starship Club. But as I said, uh, the robot is not replacing our bartenders. So we always, favor the human interaction. That should never change. And as I said, the robot itself will be doing maximum 20 cocktails. So I remind you, it's a software. So it's not that you can go there and say, I want the limoncello spritz out of the blue, you know? The robot, Rob will try to do the most popular cocktails, but it's not a bar where you should be spending hours, you know, because
It's an experience.
It's an experience. You will probably get allocated a specific time slot. You go there, you enjoy the experience, take all the photos you want, take your souvenir back with you. But you know, I still recommend.
Keep in mind that it's a waiting list, so you don't have to
Correct.
take that place only for your own. Yeah,
Absolutely.
You are telling me about the English pub, and I tried it on Grandiosa, and indeed it was a very pleasant experience. Now we are bringing Virtuosa on a UK market. That involved a couple of challenges. How you tailor that thing that I always love about MSC, the Mediterranean flair, the Italian atmosphere to the British market, because it's a big distance between two concepts.
So, Leonard, the advantage I have is that I'm British Italian. So, my heart is Italian, my brains are English. So, always, I'm pretty familiar with both cultures. So, the Anglo-Saxon culture and, of course, the more Mediterranean way of doing things. So, we will always be a European cruise line, Leonard. We were born in the Mediterranean. We have a history which is 300 years old. With due respect, it's a money can buy experience, a money can buy legacy. You know, yeah. I take inspiration from this experience, but then at the same time, I'm aware that British customers can have different needs, can have different demands, let's say. So. Mediterranean is slightly different from the Anglo-Saxon world. So basically what I'm doing is keeping that Mediterranean / cosmopolitan atmosphere on board, but just tweaking part of the product in order to meet the needs of our lovely British clientele. And what do I mean by that? Let's start with the basics. Everybody in England or in UK enjoys a cuppa, right? So that's why on MSC Virtuosa, I made sure each and every stateroom has a kettle. There will be some tea bags, different teas, English breakfast, Earl Grey, etc., chamomile, etc., etc. This time I'm not focusing on just one brand of tea like I've done in the past on board of Magnifica. So we will have different options like Yorkshire tea, Twinings, Tetley, and etc., etc. Now, I'm half Italian, right? So for me, having an amazing espresso at the bar will always be my go-to option. So I'm not really a big fan of making my own cuppa, but I understand that that's really important for our customers. So we made sure that that's there.
Which I think is brilliant in a way that justify or explain the huge success of MSC, because you are always very, very flexible, and more than that, and I always said that I'm impressed with MSC because it's always very open and absorb all feedback received from the guest, and that I can see from one cruise to another, and that's absolutely fantastic.
Leonard, I spend probably 50% of my time checking all the forums, checking all the social media. We always try to listen and pay attention to what the customers are saying out there. There's no size fits all, one side fits all. So you will always need to adapt and improve your experience or the products that you're offering to your customers. So we have to listen to what the customers are saying, because otherwise we will be arrogant and start getting everything wrong, because customers are so different. Customers have different needs. So there's one particular thing that could work for a customer, but maybe it will upset someone else. So now our goal is to make everyone happy, but perfection, unfortunately, doesn't belong to this world. But we try to get as close as possible to perfection. And for years, I've heard, Mr. Paradiso, it would be great to have a kettle. It would be great to do to make my own tea in the morning. But more importantly, I would love to have a full English breakfast at the buffet. So we made sure, Leonard, that we actually started 2 years ago that at least on the main ship, when you go to the buffet, you will always have the English breakfast corner. So,
which is a good idea.
Yeah, why not? Even the Italians or the Germans or the French enjoy a good English breakfast once or twice, during their cruise. When you're on a cruise, you want to try everything. You want to eat everything. So, as I said, that I see as an improvement. So it works for continental Europe, at the same time it works, for the UK. So on this particular cruise, the amount of time we're spending in having the right, back bacon, and we will also try and do the Yorkshire puddings for the Sunday roast on Sundays. Then, all the main, pies and
I think it's amazing how you had the power and the wish to bring all these little details that will create a more like home away from home for the British market. That's brilliant. Talking about that, Grandiosa started last year, and for me was not only makes me so happy, but more than happy, made me proud of MSC, that you created that concept of a cruise bubble, and that was experience on Grandiosa, a huge success. I was so envious of all my friends that they had the possibility to go on the ship and travel last summer.
I know.
You'll bring all those rules and regulation and protocols on board of Virtuosa, correct?
Yes. So we, of course, need to adapt the protocol, taking into account the UK guidelines as well. But let's say that the vast majority of those measures are being replicated in Southampton, and then later in the summer, also in Liverpool and Greenock for those customers boarding. By the way, that's another first, I think not only for MSC in the UK, that we will also be boarding customers from Liverpool and Greenock.
Which is first in
yes.
UK. Mm-hmm.
So we're learning from our operations in Italy, where we bought from Genoa, Civitavecchia, Naples, and Palermo. We are trying, of course, to bring our cruise ship closer to home, and to, you may appreciate that Southampton is not the best option for people living in the north of England,
of course,
or people living in Scotland. It's a long drive from Scotland to Southampton. So basically, we are bringing the ship to them. And yes, you're right. So first of all, the advantage we have in the UK is that the vast majority of the customers boarding that ship will be vaccinated anyway, because the UK is kind of ahead of the game compared to most of the countries, on continental Europe. And also looking at the demographics of the first few sailings, it seems very, very likely that probably something like 75–80% of the customers have received the double jab.
Oh.
Just to say that. Yes, because 38 plus, this is where we're standing in UK right now. So they've received at least one jab, if not both.
But all these rules, and once again, I'm going back to the story of Grandiosa. Grandiosa made headlines in a very good way, extremely positive, I think, was that message came across from Grandiosa, that the rules are very clear, the protocols are very strict, and whoever doesn't respect those rules and doesn't respect the protocols will leave the ship. you have two situations, one with a group of tourists that they will refuse embarkation, and another family that they didn't respect the protocol of the excursion. My question is, knowing, and you are half British, knowing how the Brits, you saw on the news, the mask, it's an exemption because nobody will ask to see any paper. I can wear the mask under my nose. Social distancing, it's relative, respective, nobody is watching. How you plan to deal with this problem? Because at the end of the day, everybody wants to be safe, everybody wants to enjoy the cruise. And as I said earlier, we passengers, guests, we are part of this process and part of the effort that MSC is making.
Leonard, we will make no discounts. So the rules are the rules, and I cannot stress it enough. So before you even come to the terminal, you know, people need to be either fully vaccinated or a proof of a negative test. More importantly, they need to have a travel insurance for COVID. If they don't, we will deny boarding because we must comply with the current regulations. So this is boarding. On board, our staff will be checking on people. So I'm sorry, until the UK lifts all the restrictions, we must we need to make sure that everybody's following the rules. And that goes back to what I was saying earlier. You can have fun, but yes, responsibly. So in some areas of the ship, you will need to wear face masks, and not under your nose. It needs to cover your nose and your mouth because you need to protect yourself and protect the other customers on board. So we will have our customers, our staff, Leonard, checking on people. And if they don't respect the rules, they will receive a tap on the shoulder and say, please, sir, or please, madam, wear your mask. You know, it's for everyone's safety on board.
That's excellent.
So we will make no exception unless there's a real reason.
Medical reason, of course.
Medical reason, of course, that's a completely different story, and you know, we take that seriously. But generally speaking, the guidance is, you know, wear your face mask, stick to your people, so you don't need to shake hands with each and every customer on board. So try to stick to your own bubble. When at the bar, it's table service, so nobody queuing up at the bar counter. So we have plenty of staff to look after all of you. Just sit down, you're on holiday, enjoy. No need to get up and go to the bar counter every 2 minutes. Our staff will look after you. Our colleagues are perfectly trained to look after you on board. So please respect the main guidelines. Other than that, we want everybody to have an amazing experience on board. You mentioned Grandiosa. Yes, so far we've had more than 70,000 happy and safe customers on board.
Healthy, yeah.
So once you get into the loop, you understand, okay, I can do this, but I cannot do that. It will be easy for everyone. I remind you, there are hand sanitizing stations pretty much every 20 to 30 meters. So there's no escape. When you go to the buffet, our staff will ask you to hand sanitize your hands or to wash your hands. You know, it's important. You know, we need to do this together. We're all part of the same team. If we can preserve this safety bubble, we're all going to be happy. We want to guarantee the smoothest embarkation process as possible. To do that, we need to make sure that everybody follows the rules. So you already know what to present at the embarkation, you know, in terms of passports and all the documentation. We've been saying this for weeks now.
And the communication pre-embarkation, it's absolutely brilliant.
Exactly.
As that you send, it's very clear, very transparent. You cannot say, oh, I didn't know that, or I didn't know that.
Exactly. Exactly. So those are the rules. As I said, the rules are not only linked to our protocol, but they're also in line with the UK regulations. So some of the things are actually beyond our control. We must follow the official guidelines. But other than that, if we all work together, it's going to be a rather smooth embarkation process. Once you're on board, you can start, you know, enjoying the experience. It's a lovely ship. We have some amazing crew on board. We, going back to one of your previous questions, we have 4 brand new shows on Virtuosa. And on the maiden voyage, we made sure that, you have 4 different shows across 4 different nights. So each night there's something different. So a brand new production done with a brand new company, which, by the way, they're British. So the shows may be slightly different from what you've seen in other parts of the world on board MSC ships. The announcement, I'm sorry, but you will no longer hear announcements in different languages. There will only be one language, English, maybe followed by Italian for our own reasons. But it's pretty, customized in order to, focus on the UK customers and UK residents. The hotel directors are amazing. So we have la creme de la creme on board. We have a fantastic cruise director, an amazing yacht club director. So believe me, I think we have probably one of the best MSC teams available right now. Many of these people have been on board of Grandiosa, so they've been perfectly trained throughout this pandemic, so they know exactly what to do, exactly how to deal with customers. So again, the experience will play a major role in this operation. So the ship is there, the ship is beautiful. The only thing I cannot control, Leonard, and I'm sorry, is actually the weather. So the weather.
You know something, with such a beautiful ship, such an amazing crew, and the opportunity to be on board of a cruise ship again, who cares about the weather, to be honest? I really don't care. Sun, rain, wind, doesn't matter. We are on Virtuosa, and that's the most important.
I would agree with you, Leonard. And another thing that it's a question that I see is being asked quite often. So most of the facilities, yes, will be open on board. The only thing that's going to change is that we may limit the attendance in some cases, or slightly change, the opening and closing times. I remind everyone that we have 1,000 customers on a ship that's supposed to host more than 6,000 people on board.
6,300.
So rather than having 50,000 premises open all at the same time, our staff on board is going to be rather dynamic. So we will make sure that we have more staff in those areas where we see more customers for obvious reasons. But other than that, the restaurants are open, the theatre is going to be open, 2 different timings for the theatre, 2 different dining timings. So don't panic. Once you're on board, everything is gonna go right. It's gonna be fantastic. As I said, also the dining times, we have customized them in order to meet the needs of a British clientele. So the Mediterraneans like to have dinner later in the evening, so we have timings which are perfect for our British customers. We will have round-the-clock activities on board, of course. We will try to do as many events as possible, but at the same time we invite everyone, please, to keep the social distance, stick to your own bubble. But other than that, I'm so looking forward to welcoming.
Tell me, I cannot wait. What can I say? I know how busy you are, and thank you very, very much again for finding time to talk with me today. I cannot wait to see you on board, and to leave Virtuosa with the feeling that I have to go back. Was absolutely amazing, was fantastic, and such a pity that I booked only 2 of this maiden voyage and I didn't book all 4 of them.
Thank you, Leonard.
Thank you very much.
To be here today, and no pressure. We will do our best to make sure that every customer will be a happy one. So
thank you.
Other than that, I'm going to switch to Italian. So grazie a tutti.
Grazie.
Non vedo l'ora di vedervi a bordo di MSC Virtuosa.
Grazie Antonio, grazie.
Bye bye.
Since last summer, embarking on an MSC cruise ship is like entering in a safe bubble, thanks to a stringent MSC Cruises health and safety protocol. The first ship to apply successfully this concept was last summer, MSC Grandiosa. MSC rigorous health and safety rules has helped to make its voyages one of the safest holiday options, thanks to the creation of a safe bubble in which guests and crew can spend their time. And here are more information about MSC Virtuosa cruise bubble, which was developed with the Blue Ribbon COVID expert group. More than that, in collaboration with Europe Assistance, MSC created the COVID protection plan that provide guest coverage before, during, and after the cruise, including cancellation, as well as medical and related transport expenses. But let's move on. In 2017, at ITB Berlin Travel Show, MSC unveiled its new Connected Guest Experience Digital Innovation Program, MSC For Me. Now, MSC For Me is a multi-channel digital program that enables guests to interact with the ship and crew members to better serve their needs, save them time, and really get the most of their cruise. You have now the possibility to begin planning your time on board before stepping on ship by adding selected pre-booked experience to pre-cruise personal agenda. Whatever we're talking about, excursion or specialty restaurant reservation, you can pre-register a credit card, and on top of that, using MSC For Me, you can chat, message each other directly through MSC For Me app without the need of an internet package. Therefore, MSC For Me is an essential addition to your smartphone before you step on board. With each new ship that is built, MSC Cruises seeks to further enrich the guest experience, and with the company's newest ship, MSC Virtuosa, the exclusive MSC Yacht Club has been elevated further. Originally, the beautiful Duplex was part of Aurea package, but as expected, MSC included this incredible space in the unique concept of Yacht Club. Part of the 103 exclusive suites of Virtuosa Yacht Club, the impressive Duplex suites span 2 decks. The first has an open living and dining area with a sofa that converts to a double bed, as well as a bathroom with a shower, while the second level holds the master bedroom and a bathroom with a towel. For the ultimate in luxurious living, each Duplex suite has a large private-owned balcony with its own whirlpool bath. For today's episode, I have some images filmed last year when cruising on the sister ship MSC Grandiosa. Only tomorrow we'll discover together Virtuosa's version after I will receive the key for my home away from home for the next 10 days, the Duplex 12005. That's all for tonight. Tomorrow is time to talk about embarkation experience and all the changes brought by the new safety protocols. And of course, finally, to step into my Yacht Club Duplex cabin 12005. Plus, we'll discover some surprises prepared by MSC for the maiden voyage of MSC Virtuosa. Thank you very much for watching. See you tomorrow, and don't forget, always ignore the waves and keep sailing. See you tomorrow.